Do you know why this protest initially started?
The EDL riots, basically.
Oh, the EDL hasn't existed for the last 10 years. You said you're prepared to house one of these migrants.
Yes,
Why haven't you done it yet?
because there's no process to do it.
If racism was such a serious issue in this country, don't you think we would see more ethnic minorities here protesting?
But we have white privilege.
Do you genuinely think that they took time out of their day on a Sunday morning to protest over skin color? Do you think skin color is the main issue for them?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's part of.
Can you document you inviting the migrants into your home and living there for 1 month? Would you be able to document that for us? We are here at Copthorne Hotel. As you guys are aware, because people keep saying anti-mass migration, riots are literally sweeping the country. So today, we are going to hear what the people have to say. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Sorry, so you said you're prepared to house one of these migrants.
Yes,
Why haven't you done it yet?
because there's no process to do it.
Man, shut your.
Why is there no process?
I don't know.
Well, the process is you just allow them to come into your home and live there. So may I ask you why you haven't done it yet?
because I haven't had the opportunity.
Oh, let's just hold on. No, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. No.
There's many of opportunities. You can go into the hotel and you can tell them to come and live in your house and stay. You can easily do that. So how come? Okay, so how come now you plan to house the migrants?
How do I plan?
Yeah, what made you change your mind, or what made you?
I haven't changed my mind. My mind has always been the same.
Okay, so
And if there is someone who is looking for a home that is in this country and currently being put up in a hotel or homeless, then I'm prepared to help them.
Okay, so then could you make a promise for me? Would you be able to document yourself inviting these migrants into your home? And can you do that?
Can I say?
Could you make us a promise on the screen? Because you said that you are for migrants coming into your home. Can you document you inviting the migrants into your home and living there for 1 month? Would you be able to document that for us?
Yes. Yep.
And also, why are you in support of mass migration?
Why am I?
In support of mass migration.
I'm not in support of mass migration.
So what are you in support of?
What I'm in support of is people who are coming from an area where they're being persecuted or they're at risk of life, and we should be supporting people that are coming from those situations, looking to improve their situation as human beings.
Just one question: if they're being persecuted, why aren't they going to their neighboring countries? Like, for example, a lot of people are coming from Syria, Afghanistan. Why don't they go to Dubai? Like, how are they making such a harsh journey all the way up to Europe?
Yeah. A lot of them are from countries where their second language is English, and so
The second language is English?
Yes,
Okay. So how come millions of them don't speak English?
millions of them.
Yeah.
There are millions.
There are millions of people who don't speak English in the industry, and I can tell you over 1 million do not speak English.
How do you get your numbers? I don't believe that the majority of them have English as a second language. All the ones I've met, primarily English was their second language.
Okay, so going back to the question, if many of them are coming from war-torn countries, why are they not making journeys to their neighboring countries? Can you answer that question?
Well, it depends where you are. Some of those neighbouring countries are war-torn as well. Around the Middle East and Syria, around there, you go to Iraq, it's nearly as bad. So the situation is not any better.
So Dubai, Qatar, Kuwait, these are all war-torn countries?
No.
So why aren't they inviting them in there? Well, how are they making that harsh journey up to Europe?
I don't know. You'd have to ask individuals that.
And they also come in the millions.
In millions?
They are coming in the millions.
Millions?
The millions, yeah.
Where do you get your millions from?
I'm tired. I must tell you, I'm very tired.
You can literally see it all over online. They come in the millions.
The government is up in arms because our migration has reached, I forgot how many 100,000, but it's nowhere near 1 million.
Have you read the statistics?
Yeah.
And you are telling me that the migrants are not coming in the millions every year?
No, that's right.
Okay then. All right. So why are you out here today waving your flag?
I live in Copthorne. Lived here for 35 years, and these migrants have been here for 5 years. They come illegally, they don't work, They don't pay any taxes, and the government is lying with the amount of money they're spending on them. All they say is it costs however millions for the hotel. They don't mention all the other luxuries they get, which our citizens don't get at all. Music lessons, free entertainment in the evening. They get free schooling, free transport, free bikes, free mobile phone, a landline in every single room so they can phone home for unlimited hours, 3 meals a day cooked for them with choices, snacks all day long,
And our tax money's funding.
all our tax money, and maid service every day. And their rooms, they absolutely disgusting. And then the maid comes in and cleans it all up. It's not just housing, it's everything else, and the government is lying.
Now, what do you say to the people who call you racist for having these views? That your tax money is going to these luxuries?
I think anyone is allowed into our country who comes legally, who gets a job and pays taxes and abides by our laws and our cultures. Anyone's free to come. That's not being racist. I object to all our money being spent without us having a choice of where our money is spent. And our children can't even buy houses.
Don't you find it interesting that every other culture in the world is allowed to preserve their traditions, their religions and their culture, except English culture? Don't you find that a bit oppressive?
It shows you how weak our government is. You couldn't even go to Dubai or a country like that and wear a bikini on the beach. Here, you can do, as long as you're a foreigner, you can do what you like. The people in Canary Wharf was shipped in 1 o'clock in the morning, in dark. Every single one was a male. All had their envelopes from the Home Office. Very next day, they were on their mopeds, had a job to go and deliver stuff.
Whilst the veterans are sleeping on the streets.
Veterans,
And it's so shocking to me that people try to make this a race issue. Even me, as a black person, it frustrates me that my tax money is also going to this nonsense. It's absolutely insane. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with migration. Come in. Everyone should be allowed to work, integrate.
Pay your taxes. And, you know, I think children now are taught not to be proud to be British. Our history happened. Some bad things, a lot of good things.
That we're all still benefiting from today.
We're all benefiting. So I'm proud to be British and I want our country back. And I want a choice of where our money's spent.
And I love to see your proudness. I love to see, you know, people standing up for their culture. That's what we need, because the more people become silent, the more the English culture becomes eradicated, and that won't only affect you, but also affect myself, because this is exactly what my parents came here for. And what's happening is the country that my parents escaped to is turning into the country they escaped from. So we're no longer progressing, we're regressing.
I can't even say anything. That poor woman in jail still for one tweet. Sticks and stones may break my bone, but words will never harm me. Where's that old saying gone? And she's got a family. And yet rape allowed out. In fact, one of the early release ones that they let out last year, murdered on the very first day out, and she's in for words
that she deleted.
Madness.
They said she incited riots, and she probably had less than 1,000 followers. How can you incite? It's absolutely insane. It's disgusting. And the fact that people still try to make it about race, it's not race, it's just fairness.
They have no, like this group here, they have no legitimate argument. They have an ideology, and it is absolute nonsense. They can never back up facts, they can never back up statistics. They are in denial. And good luck to them. I say everyone has a right to their own opinion, and that's what we find. Sorry?
You said no one can give statistics.
Do you want to give me the statistics? What are the statistics?
So a lot of the people here are saying they take our tax money for one. 4% of our tax money goes onto migrants. 15% on education and healthcare. Healthcare is 60%. The rest is on defence forces, military. So 4% only. Secondly, jobs.
How much percentage goes to the veterans?
The veterans. Oh God, give me 2 minutes. I think that's part of the military and defence bit. But what I'm saying is it's literally only 4% of our taxes go towards them. And everyone's going to be, oh, we need more money for healthcare.
But how do you feel that these migrants are being housed in these luxury hotels whilst veterans are sleeping on the street and having no support on where to live? How does that make you feel? Do you think that's fair?
I think they're in living that they should be, but the homelessness is a problem. If immigrants were homeless, they would be given no support either.
They are being given support because as soon as they come to the country, they're given free housing. So do you think that's fair that immigrants are given free housing whilst veterans who bled blood for the country, they are receiving no support at all in terms of living situations. Do you think that's fair?
No, I don't think it's fair. No.
So can you understand why they might be protesting here today?
No, I do understand why they're protesting. I do, but I think that it's not doing any good for our country. If they want to make these changes, they should look to our government and they should change who they're voting for.
Do you think they've tried to look to the government?
I think they have, but at the end of the day, they're picking the wrong parties based on their misinformation. That's their fault.
Do you know why this protest initially started?
The EDL riots, basically.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
Oh, the EDL hasn't existed for the last 10 years.
They have, but they will not say they are. Let's be honest.
The EDL literally hasn't existed for the last 10 years. Darling. Not everyone who holds a Union Jack and, protests is EDL.
I never said that. But the people that were harming mosques, doing all this.
Do you have footage of the people that harmed the mosques?
Oh, I could send you multiple videos if you would like.
Because I looked everywhere online and I did not see not one mosque being harmed.
I saw it in person, my darling, in Crawley.
So you saw the EDL throw stuff. Yes. What did they do?
They threw rocks through the windows. They stormed into the mosques. That's what they did. They're harming people who are there to pray, using their religious and their peace to sit there in their free time. These people are standing here with flags saying bullshit that is not going to be heard. The police are here. Sorry.
Did you see the footage of the Muslims also attacking the English people on the streets?
Yes, I have. At the end of the day, how many white people are attacking the same people? How many white people?
I personally, division is division, isn't it? Whatever side of the fence you're on, we can't be divided. Our argument is not amongst working class people, is it?
But what about in terms of children being? Okay, so when a child's being and people come out.
Sorry, you're a woman and you know what it's like to be a woman.
So why
don't my right whole day?
Yeah.
I live in fear that I wouldn't walk down the street.
But
men in general.
That's men.
Yeah. But the protest initially started because a child was raped. So why aren't you guys on the side of these people?
Have been raped by white men?
Thousands. Well,
Yes,
white people make up the majority, but right behind that is Asian men. Right behind that, and they
But
make
the
up a very
majority is
small.
white men. So why are we not protesting our own country?
No, because it's a problem that the fact that people who just came here are already taking the piss. That's the problem that they have. White people are always going to make up the majority because they are the majority. But it makes no sense that a community who's the minority is second behind that. Do you understand? So that's what they're saying. And the fact that we keep importing more of these people who have this mindset, that's the issue. Now, when it comes to the grooming gangs, this initially started because a young child was assaulted. Why aren't you guys on the side of the people who are defending the child that was assaulted? How come you guys are on the opposing
the child that's assaulted?
So who are they offending?
They're not. This is nothing about that.
What do you think is about?
I think this is about division, and this is about a deliberate engineering of the narrative from mainstream media, because we are going after vulnerable people. We're saying they're stealing our jobs. That argument can't work anymore. And the thing that's stealing our jobs will be AI. We need migrants, and most of us are probably migrants. If you look back in our past, I know I certainly am. I wouldn't be here if my great-grandparents didn't migrate to this country.
Me too.
Exactly. So what's the difference? We're using an artificial argument here, and our issue should never be to attack and intimidate vulnerable people. And they're saying this is fighting age men. I've seen women and children that are from the hotel at the bus stops. I've spoken to some of the men.
May I also ask, how come this Stop Racism people who protest to stop racism, like yourself, how come the people that are always protesting against racism, like yourself, are always white? If racism was such a serious issue in this country, don't you think we would see more ethnic minorities here protesting?
But we have white privilege.
Stop. I can't take any more. I can't do this. I cannot do this any fucking more. I can't do it anymore.
And so we need to recognise that.
So what can you do that I can't do?
I'm not saying that I can. I suggest that obviously.
But you said you have privilege.
No, I say I recognise that I have white privilege. And I don't mean that in a negative, derogative way.
But it's like, what can you do that I can't do? Because privilege means you have more doors open for you than me.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly?
And I think that's true because I think we do have an underlying racism still in this country.
So
Let's just hold on. No, I'm not having this. I'm not having this. No.
So you think ethnic minorities don't have the privilege to come out and protest?
Oh no, I absolutely agree, and I wish.
So why they're
there
not
were
here?
more. If I'm honest, I don't think we have an awful lot of minority groups in the village.
Maybe it's because maybe they're not experiencing racism. Do you think that?
Well, I'm sorry, but I part-time live with a black man who does experience racism. So I'd ask you the question: do you experience racism?
Well, I feel like reality is that this country promises equal opportunity, but not equal outcome. And I think people need
I
to come to the
absolutely
understanding that not everyone's going to have an equal outcome. But to allow people to have just arrived in the country to receive the same outcome and income as people who have worked very hard.
They don't receive that.
They do most. So you're here standing up to racism.
Yes, I'd say that's what we're doing. I think these people are far right. They are targeting people because of the countries they come from and because of the color of their skin. They're hateful bigots, and yeah, we're here to stand against them because we think that people from countries that are unstable, countries that are repressive, need to be protected, and that people have the human right to asylum.
Yeah. So you said that they hate people because of the color of their skin. How come the people with different skin colors are not here? Because I've noticed that a lot of people from the left, they stand up to racism and they do a lot of racism protests, but we've never seen any ethnic minorities holding up these stand up to racism signs. So if racism was such a serious issue, don't you think we would see more ethnic minorities here?
I'm not sure why that's the case.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
I think we have a fairly small counter protest.
I think maybe because racism is not that much of a serious issue in the country.
I think the fact that these people exist sort of demonstrates that it is a serious issue because...
And when you say these people, what do you mean?
No, I mean these protesters that we can currently see right here. These.
Do you genuinely think they are protesting? They took time out of their day on a Sunday morning to protest over skin color. Do you think skin color is the main issue for them?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's part of the issue because I think that you don't see these people coming out and protesting against, say, Ukrainian refugees, do you? It's only against Somalian and Iranian and Syrian refugees. It's against refugees from brown and black countries, not refugees from white countries.
So you genuinely feel as though that they're out here protesting, not because thousands of children are being raped by the hands of migrants, but because of a black skin color?
I think plenty of British men, plenty of white British men also hurt, molest, rape children. So I don't think that the actions of a handful of these men mean we can tar them all with the same brush. I think that it's a silly argument. I think by that logic, you would lock up all men because any man, regardless of where they come from, regardless of whether they're a refugee, regardless of what culture they're from, any man is capable of committing sexual offences. Any man is capable of committing horrible acts. So by that logic, we shouldn't take the risk with anyone.
Yeah, but the thing is that the reason why white men make up the majority of the number of rape cases is because white people are the majority. The same way if you go to Congo, for example, black men will always make up the majority. But second to that is a group of people who are literally a minority. So how is it a minority group that make up less than 20% of the population are second behind the actual majority? Don't you think there's a problem there?
I'm not sure about the statistics of the statistics in this country. I can't tell you whether that's true or not, but I think that generally my point isn't that white men commit more rape. That's not what I'm trying to claim. I'm not saying white men are more likely to. I'm saying any man, regardless of their race, regardless of where they come from, regardless of whether they're an asylum seeker or not, any man is capable of rape, and therefore we should be cautious around all men. We shouldn't discriminate against men who are asylum seekers because while they can commit rape, so can other men. So
but don't you think it's fair to make the argument that someone who's just come into the country 5, 2, 3 years ago shouldn't be a child?
Yes, I don't think they should. I think the vast majority of them aren't. I also think it's true that men who have been in this country their entire lives, who again are equally capable of being child rapists, also shouldn't be raping children. No men should be raping children.
But don't you think they also share the same views as them? Because I was actually speaking to Liam Tuff this morning, the man you was arguing with, and he even said himself it's just as disgusting that a white man is doing that. So you guys basically share the same views. So why aren't you guys all uniting together, opposing all race?
I do oppose all, but I think that the vast majority of these asylum seekers aren't. My point is that it doesn't make sense to target a specific group. It makes sense to target men it makes sense to be cautious of men in general and to deal with the problem as a whole. It doesn't make sense to just target asylum seekers. We should be targeting all men who could potentially be racist. We should be trying to reduce across all populations. So I agree. I think if an asylum seeker a child, they should be punished. They should go to prison for an incredibly long time. They should be punished severely. I think those same punishments should be applied to British men who raped her. I think, though, that you shouldn't discriminate against an asylum seeker who hasn't actually done that, because a lot of these men haven't. Most of these men have not raped children. Most of these men are innocent, and therefore they don't deserve to be targeted.
I understand that argument. I understand the argument that all is wrong, and I agree with that. Whether it's white men, Asian men, Pakistani men, whatever, it's all wrong. I understand that. But this initially started, all of these protests that we're seeing across the country initially started because a migrant assaulted a child. Do you feel comfortable with yourself that you are opposing a protest that is against child?
Again,
do you feel comfortable with that? I feel like you should be on the side of the people who are saying that is wrong.
They're not protesting against child. They're protesting against migrants.
Do you have a job, or do you just sit in your bedroom at your mum's house?
If they were protesting against child rape, they would be targeting all. They'd be targeting black rapists, Asian rapists, white rapists. They'd be targeting every type of rape. They'd be targeting British. They'd be targeting non-British rape. They'd be targeting every type of racist. They're not. They're only targeting one specific group, most of whom are not racist. If they're protesting against child, why are they only protesting against migrants when there are British men who also have children? Why aren't they protesting against that?
So would you invite a migrant into your home?
Yes, I would. And
how come you haven't done it yet?
My family has invited migrants into our home, actually.
Your family has?
My family has, yeah.
And how did that go?
It went fairly well. They're generally quite polite. They're generally, quite welcoming. They've cooked for us, for example. We've had dinners together. We've had lots of nice conversations together. They're very nice people. Most of them are really nice.
And why are you here today waving your flag?
Well, we're supporting our own community. Yeah, there's at least 4 hotels that are being used for illegal migrants right now, and it's a very important, pivotal moment for the country, I think, at the time we're in now.
And what do you say to the people who say that you are racist for believing that these migrants shouldn't be at these hotels and these people just want help and we should give them the help?
I think in some ways that whole word has lost its meaning. It's just it's almost a lazy phrase that's used to describe people's legitimate concerns about the direction of the country and what's been happening.
And what concerns are you having at the moment?
Well, I mean, for sure there's crime. I mean, personally, completely unprovoked, I've been attacked now 4 times in the last 2 years.
But you're the far-right fascist neo-Nazi, but yet you're the one that's been attacked.
Apparently, yes, completely unprovoked. I don't know who these people were. I'm certain on at least 3 occasions they were illegals. 3 times they came for my watch. Once I was out for a run with my daughter, who's 11.
And they tried to take your watch?
Yes, they tried to take my watch.
Did you report it to the police?
Yes, I did.
What did the police do?
Funnily, I never heard anything afterwards.
So then what's one thing you would say to the leftists who are defending this?
I'd say come to the debate, because all I hear from the left is pretty much just, bleating out the same narrative, refugees are welcome here. I've not heard one well-constructed, logical argument that the left ever come back with.
Do you support mass migration or migration in general, or are you totally against it?
I think at least for the time being, I think we need to pause it, is my honest opinion. I think we need to pause it. I think we need to fix ourselves. I think we need a return to Christianity. I think we need the return of the family unit. I think we need to start having larger families as well. And I think the family needs to play a far much stronger role in society. I think women need to be encouraged to become mothers. I think men need to be encouraged to be better men themselves and provide for their families and protect their families and loved ones. So I don't think it's a solution that necessarily politics by itself can fix. It needs a almost from a cultural grassroots ground up.
What's your opinion on multiculturalism? So what's your opinion on me, an African person living here in the UK?
Probably like most people, we don't have an issue with it. It's really more a case of what do you bring to our country? Do you embrace our culture? And do you love being here as well? Yeah, I mean, I'm a businessman. I do business with lots of people. I do business with a lot of people who have been here, maybe 20, 30 years. They're entrepreneurs. They've started up small businesses. 100%. We want people like that who come here and they bring something to the country and improve the country.
So why do you think English people are kind of demonized for having this concern? Because it seems as though every culture and countries are allowed to be concerned about what people are contributing to their country, except the English. Why do you think that is?
I think the English have been demonised a long time, and actually I think some of it is if you look at our flag, okay, the English flag bears the cross, okay, the cross is of course signifying Christ, okay, the truth, if ever you speak the truth, you're always persecuted. And so I think for years, when you go back, even looking back into the 80s and 90s, the English flag, it was deemed a racist flag, and it was always a trigger for the left. And so I think there's a lot of deep-rooted resentment of that as well.
What I find so funny is the fact that they will call the country and the flag racist whilst continuing to live in the racist country. Why are you out here today waving your flag?
Because I'm so angry. I'm so angry.
Why are you angry?
Why will the people not wake up? People like those behind us, why will they not wake up to what's going on? We've lost our country. We need our country back. We need our jobs back. We need our streets back. I don't know.
Well, I've noticed that every other culture and religion is allowed to preserve their traditions, except English culture. Anytime an English person wants to preserve their flag, their traditions, their culture, they're almost demonized for it. Why do you think that is? And how does that actually make you feel?
I've no idea, because people are just so brainwashed.
Yeah.
Young people are brainwashed. I've got two teenage daughters, young, blonde, 14, 13. I wish I could get them here, but they're like, "Oh, mum, you're a racist. You're a racist."
Really?
They're so brainwashed. I can't make them wake up.
What do you say to the people who call you racist for wanting to preserve your English culture?
I've got to say, I don't care. Call me what you like. Yeah. Call me what you like. I mean, I'm obviously older and wiser than them.
They call me a white supremacist, even though I'm black. Even though I'm black. It's absolutely insane. Now, when it comes to the migrant hotels, obviously you're against the migrants being housed here. Why is that?
Well, everything I've just said. Why? You know what I mean? Why are they being housed?
Yeah.
Why are they being given a hotel? I can't afford a hotel.
Exactly.
I can't afford a holiday.
And whilst our veterans are also sleeping homeless on the streets.
My forefathers were. My grandfather was. All of our forefathers were. Even if they weren't veterans, they fought for this country. Yeah.
And what's your opinion of multiculturalism? Do you think a black woman like myself is allowed to live in this country? Is it okay for me to be here, or you're against it?
Only if she's a Christian.
Huh?
Only if she's a Christian.
Is a Christian.